The sky over the quiet town was calm, until a burning trail of light cut across the clouds. People looked up, confused, some scared, but none of them understood what was actually falling toward Earth. Only two beings knew the truth: Leora and Saren, two alien girls punished by their own people, sent far away from home. Their bodies hit the earth with a flash of blue energy, shaking the ground around them. Birds flew from the trees. Dust filled the air. And then silence. Leora stood up first. Her eyes, sharp like glass, scanned the area. "This planet smells strange," she whispered. Saren tried to rise, but her legs trembled. "Leora, why did they send us here? Earth is dangerous. They said humans are violent." Leora looked around, her face hard and angry. "This is punishment, Saren. They want us to suffer. They think Earth will break us." Their small landing pod was half buried in the ground, sparks shooting from its broken wires. Their communication device lay in pieces. They were stuck. No help. No rescue. Saren touched the cracked device. "We can't contact home. Leora, what'll we do now?" Leora didn't answer. She was scanning the forest. There was something else, another life signal. Someone was close. Watching. Saren felt it too. "There's someone hiding." Leora took a step forward, her muscles tense. "Stay behind me." The forest around them was still. No wind. No movement. Only the sound of their breathing. A shadow moved between the trees. Saren grabbed Leora's arm. "It's coming closer." Leora prepared herself. She raised her hand, ready to use whatever little alien power she still had left after the crash. The shadow stepped out, and it was human. A young man. Dusty clothes. Confused eyes. Fear, but not too much. He stared at the two alien girls as if he couldn't believe what he was seeing. Leora stepped in front of Saren. "Stay back," she warned. The man lifted his hand slowly. I'm not here to hurt you." His voice was soft, careful, almost gentle. Saren blinked. She did not expect kindness from a human. "You can understand us." "Not really," he said with a nervous smile. "But you look hurt. I just want to help." He pointed to Saren's arm, which had a glowing cut across it. Saren looked at Leora. Why is he helping? Leora didn't trust him. She didn't trust anyone on this world. "Humans act kind to hide danger," she whispered to Saren. "Stay alert." But the human continued, speaking softly. "My name is Ethan. I live in a town just over those hills. You both look like you need help." The crash. I saw the light from far away. He took one slow step toward them. Leora's eyes narrowed. "Stop there." He stopped, but he didn't run. He didn't scream. He didn't attack. He only said, "You're not safe here." Leora felt a strange chill. Humans weren't supposed to know anything about danger from the sky. "Why do you say that?" she asked quietly. Ethan swallowed. "Because right after I saw your crash, I saw another one." Leora froze. Saren's heart raced. "Another? You mean someone else landed?" Ethan nodded. "Not someone something." It didn't look friendly. It was dark, fast like a machine. Leora felt her stomach drop. A hunter drone. Their punishment wasn't just exile. It was a death sentence. Saren stepped back, terrified. "Leora, they sent hunters after us. They really want us gone." Ethan noticed their fear. "I don't know what is happening, but you two need to move." That thing looked dangerous. Leora studied Ethan carefully. She expected lies, fear, aggression. But she sensed nothing harmful in him. Only honest fear and an urge to help. This confused her even more. Humans weren't supposed to be like this. She lowered her hand very slowly. "Why? Why are you helping strangers?" He looked at Saren first, then at Leora, and said quietly, "Because you looked scared." Saren's eyes softened. She whispered, "Leora, maybe humans aren't what we were told." But before Leora could answer, the ground trembled beneath their feet. A low metallic sound echoed through the forest. Ethan turned pale. "It's here." Leora grabbed Saren's arm. "We must hide." But the trees behind them started to glow with a red scanning light. The hunter was closing in. Ethan whispered, "Come with me." "Now." Leora hesitated for the first time in her life. She glanced at Saren. Saren nodded. They followed Ethan into the dark woods. Branches snapped behind them. The hunter moved fast. Too fast. Red eyes, cold metal, silent death. Ethan looked back. It's chasing us, why? Saren whispered. Because of us. Leora whispered back. And now it will hunt him too. For the first time, Leora felt something she never felt before. Fear, not for herself, but for the human who chose to help them. As they ran deeper into the forest, Leora looked over her shoulder and said softly, "Maybe Earth is not what we thought." The hunter drone scanned the trees again, its lights closing in. They had only seconds. Ethan stopped at a fallen log, breathing hard. "Tell me what to do." Leora stared at him, surprised by his courage. Saren grabbed his hand. "Just don't leave us." Ethan whispered, "I won't." But before they made the next move, the forest lit up with a red flash. Something terrible was coming, and Earth was no longer safe for any of them. Before the story continues, if you're enjoying this journey, please subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring more stories like this every week. Ethan pushed branches aside as he guided Leora and Saren through the dark forest. Each step echoed like a warning. Something metallic, something hungry was following them. Saren kept looking behind, her breath shaking. "It's getting closer. I can feel its signal." Leora grabbed her wrist gently. "Stay calm. If we panic, we lose." Ethan tried to stay strong, but fear was already crawling under his skin. "What is that thing? Why is it chasing you?" Leora didn't answer. Not yet. She didn't trust humans, not fully. Not even this brave one. But when the red light flashed through the trees again, she realized she had no choice. "Not tonight. It's a hunter drone," she finally said. "It was sent for us." Ethan stopped for half a second. "Sent to kill you?" "Yes," Leora whispered. "And now," Saren added, with guilt in her voice, "it wants to kill you too, because you saw us and helped us." Ethan stared at them, shocked, scared, but he didn't walk away. Instead, he stepped in front of them. "Then we stick together," he said, breathing hard. "We survived this. All three of us." Leora blinked. A human protecting aliens? This world made no sense. A loud crack echoed through the forest. A tree snapped clean in half behind them. "It's here!" Saren cried. "Move!" Leora shouted. They ran again, feet slipping on wet leaves, the cold wind cutting their skin. The forest suddenly opened into a narrow, rocky path. The moonlight hit the stones, making them glow faintly. Ethan pointed ahead. "There's an old cabin this way. We can hide inside." Leora hesitated. "A cabin? Made of wood? That will not stop a hunter." "It won't stop it," Ethan agreed, "but it might confuse it. Maybe." He didn't finish his sentence, because the hunter drone appeared at the edge of the forest. A floating metal creature, covered in spikes and glowing red lines. Its single eye scanning the air. Cold, emotionless, deadly. Saren hid behind Leora. "It found us." The drone scanned the ground, then the trees, then finally them. It emitted a sharp, high-pitched sound that made Ethan fall to his knees. Leora grabbed him. "Cover your ears." But even with her help, the sound drilled through their skulls. The drone's red eye widened, aiming. Leora's heart raced. "Saren, on my mark, run." Saren nodded, shaking. Ethan whispered, We can't outrun that." Leora tightened her grip on his arm. "Don't think. Just move." The drone fired. A beam of red light shot past them, hitting a tree which exploded into splinters. Saren screamed. Ethan stumbled. Leora pulled them both forward. They ran onto the rocky trail as the drone glided after them, silent except for the buzzing of its metal wings. Ethan gasped. "Why is it so fast?" "It was built for hunting," Leora replied. "And killing," Saren added softly. They reached the cabin, a small, abandoned wooden shelter with broken windows and a rusty metal door. Ethan kicked the door open. It screeched loudly. "Inside," he shouted. They rushed in and ducked behind old crates covered in dust. The drone scanned outside, its red light sliding across the windows like a searching eye. Ethan whispered, "Will it break in?" Leora looked around, her eyes sharp. "It's scanning. It knows we are close, but not where. The structure is confusing its sensors." Saren touched the wooden wall. Humans build things so strange, but it helps. Ethan tried not to laugh nervously. First time someone said this cabin is useful. Leora peeked through a crack in the wall. The drone floated silently inches from the cabin roof. Her pulse quickened. It suddenly tilted its head. Saren whispered, "It knows." Leora pulled away from the crack. "Stay absolutely quiet." The drone scanned again, then lowered to the ground. Slowly, slowly, Ethan closed his eyes and held his breath. The drone's red light hit the cabin door. It stopped. A deep mechanical growl vibrated through the wood. Saren gripped Leora's arm tightly. "It's going to attack." But the drone suddenly turned away. Its eye flashed twice, and then it flew back into the forest. Ethan exhaled. Is it gone?" "No," Leora whispered. "It is never gone. It left because it wants to track us from a distance, not kill us too soon." Ethan frowned. "Why not now?" "Because hunters enjoy fear," Leora said softly. "They wait until their targets lose hope." Saren hugged herself. "Earth feels so cold." Ethan turned to her. "I'll find something to warm you. Just stay here." He searched the cabin and found an old blanket. It smelled like dust and time, but he placed it around Saren's shoulders anyway. She looked at him strangely. "Why are you so kind?" Ethan shrugged. "Because you're scared. Anyone would help." Leora watched him, not with fear, but with confusion. No one back home ever showed kindness to the punished. No one ever helped someone who was marked as a traitor. She whispered, "Humans are unpredictable." But before Ethan could reply, a metallic echo came from the forest. The drone had sent a signal. More of them were coming. Ethan looked toward the window. "There are more." Leora nodded. "Yes, and stronger." Saren's voice trembled as she said, "Leora, what do we do now?" Leora looked out into the forest again, eyes sharp, mind racing. She knew the truth. Running wasn't enough anymore. "They want us all dead now," she whispered. Saren froze. Ethan swallowed hard. Leora's next words were barely audible. "We must fight, or none of us will see the next sunrise." Ethan stood near the window, staring into the dark forest. The wind was quiet, too quiet, as if the night itself was holding its breath. Saren sat on the cabin floor, hugging the blanket Ethan gave her. Her eyes kept drifting to the door, afraid it might burst open at any second. Leora paced slowly, her steps silent, her mind racing. Every few seconds she would stop, listen, then move again, like a warrior waiting for the next strike. Ethan finally whispered, "How many more drones can come?" Leora stopped and looked at him. "2, maybe 3, maybe more. It depends on who sent them." Saren lowered her head. "They want to finish us before we speak the truth." Ethan turned to her. "What truth?" Saren's lips trembled, but she didn't answer. Leora stepped closer, placing a hand on her shoulder. "Not now," Leora said softly. Ethan frowned. "But if I'm in this danger, I deserve to know." Leora studied him for a long moment, her eyes unreadable, as if deciding how much she could trust this human. Finally, she said, "We discovered something our leaders wanted hidden. That is why we were punished. Why they want us dead." Ethan waited for more, but she didn't continue. Before he could ask again, a sharp sound echoed outside. A metallic clicking, slow, repetitive, like a machine tapping the ground. Saren gasped. "They're here." Ethan moved back from the window. "Already." Leora grabbed both of their arms and pulled them away from the wall. "Stay away from openings." They scanned through cracks. A red light flashed across the cabin wall like a silent warning. Ethan whispered, "It's scanning again." "No," Leora corrected him. "This is a different drone. This one is larger. Smarter." A cold shiver crawled down Ethan's spine. He whispered, "They're hunting you like animals." Leora nodded. "Like trophies." Saren looked at Ethan, her voice shaking. "If they catch us, they will not simply kill us. They erase everything, even memories, even voices." Ethan swallowed hard. "Then we can't let that happen." Leora turned to him. "You should leave, Ethan. This is not your fight." Ethan shook his head. "It became my fight the moment you two fell from the sky. I'm not leaving." Leora stared at him, stunned again by this strange human courage. But before she could respond, A booming metallic thud hit the cabin roof. Dust fell from the ceiling. Saren screamed and covered her head. Ethan grabbed Leora's arm. What was that? Leora whispered, the hunter commander drone. It's heavy. Very heavy. Another thud shook the roof. Wood cracked. Metal scraped. The cabin creaked like it might collapse any second. Saren whispered, Leora, it's going to crush us. Not if we move, Leora said. Back door. Now. Ethan didn't hesitate. He grabbed Saren's hand and pulled her toward the back. Leora followed closely behind. The wooden door groaned as Ethan pushed it open. Cold night air rushed in. A thick fog had formed outside, making it hard to see anything. Saren froze. Fog, it wasn't here before. Leora narrowed her eyes. It's not fog. It's drone mist. It helps them track movement. Ethan looked around, terrified. We're walking into a trap. Leora whispered. Every direction is a trap, but this is the only one we can run through. They stepped into the fog, slowly, carefully, barely breathing. The forest was silent. Too silent. Ethan whispered, Where is it? The one on the roof. Leora didn't answer, because she didn't know, and that scared her more than anything. A sudden metallic roar came from above them. The drone commander dropped from the cabin roof like a falling beast, landing behind them with a crash that shook the ground. Ethan jumped. Saren screamed. Leora spun around, eyes sharp with fire. The drone commander stood tall, almost human-sized, glowing crimson with deadly energy. Its chest opened, revealing long metallic blades. Ethan whispered, We can't outrun that. No, Leora whispered. We fight. Saren shook her head violently. Leora, your powers are weak. You can't win. Leora stepped forward anyway. The drone raised its arm. Ethan grabbed her. You'll die. Leora turned to him, her voice soft, almost sad. Better me than both of you. But the drone didn't swing. Instead, it scanned Ethan again. Its red eye focused on him. Saren whispered in horror. It has marked him. Ethan is now a primary target. Ethan felt his knees weaken. Why? I'm not even from your world. Leora pulled him close, her voice tense. Because you helped us. That makes you dangerous to them. The drone tilted its head, preparing to attack. Leora pushed Ethan to the side. Run. But Ethan didn't run. He grabbed a fallen tree branch and faced the drone. Saren gasped. Ethan, no. He shouted. I'm not letting it kill you. The drone pounced. Leora tackled Ethan out of the way. The drone slammed into a tree, cracking in half. The forest exploded with noise. Saren cried. This is madness. We can't win. Leora grabbed Ethan's hand, pulling him to his feet. There's a chance. A small one. Ethan breathed heavily. What chance? Leora looked into the fog, eyes burning with determination. We must reach the old military bunker. It's the only place we can fight back. Saren's voice cracked. But the bunker is far. Leora tightened her jaw. Then we run faster than fear. Ethan gulped. And the drone? Leora glanced back. It was already rising again, glowing brighter, more deadly. She whispered, It will follow us. It will not stop, but neither will we. They ran into the fog, hearts pounding, shadows chasing. Death only seconds behind them. The hunt had just begun. They ran through the forest, breath shaking, the fog twisting around them like cold hands trying to pull them down. Branches slapped their arms. Stones rolled under their feet. But they didn't stop. The drone commander followed from behind, glowing like a red ghost moving through the mist, slow at first, then faster and faster. Saren stumbled, but Ethan caught her before she fell. Careful, he whispered, panting. We can't stop now. Saren nodded weakly. I'm trying. Leora kept scanning the air around them, her senses sharp, hunting for danger before danger found them. But the forest tonight was alive with danger. Every sound felt louder. Every shadow felt deeper. Every breath felt borrowed. Ethan pointed toward a slope ahead. The bunker is past those rocks. We're close. Leora shook her head. Close is not enough. That thing is gaining speed. Saren looked back and froze. A bright red light cut through the fog, moving like a predator ready to strike. It's right behind us, she whispered. Ethan grabbed her hand tighter. Don't look back. Just run. They pushed forward, legs burning, lungs hurting, but the fear of being caught kept them moving. Suddenly, a loud metallic shriek tore through the night. The ground trembled. Leora stopped instantly. Wait! Something massive landed in front of them. A second drone. Bigger. Stronger. Wings spread wide like a metal demon. Saren stepped back, shaking. Two, we can't survive, two. Ethan whispered. What do we do? Leora scanned the trees. Her eyes widened. There's a narrow path to the left. The drones are too big to follow quickly. Then go. Ethan shouted. They sprinted toward the narrow path, rocks scraping their feet, branches clawing their clothes. One drone tried to force its way in, but its wings got stuck between the trees. Metal screeched. The commander drone, however, was smarter. It folded its wings sharply and forced its way through. Ethan gasped. It's adapting. That's why it's the commander, Leora replied. It learns. They reached the end of the narrow path and slid down a steep slope. Ethan nearly fell, but Leora grabbed his jacket. Easy, she whispered. One step at a time. But Saren slipped. She screamed as she rolled down the slope. Ethan leaped after her without thinking. Saren. Leora followed, sliding fast, rocks cutting her hands. The slope ended in a shallow river, cold and rushing. Saren landed hard, water splashing all around her. Ethan crashed down beside her, grabbing her before she drifted away. I got you. I got you. Saren shook with fear. It hurts. Leora splashed into the water next, immediately checking the girl. You're okay, nothing broken. But the sound of metal striking rock echoed above them. The commander drone had reached the top of the slope. Its red eyes scanned the river. Ethan's pulse spiked. It's going to jump. Leora shook her head. No. Water interferes with its movement. It will try to attack from above. A blast of red energy fired from the drone. The river exploded in a burst of steam and light. Ethan shielded Saren. Leora shielded them both. The water turned boiling hot. Moo! Leora yelled. They ran along the riverbank, feet slipping on wet stones, the drone firing again and again. Trees burned. Rocks cracked. The night lit up with red light. But through the chaos, Ethan saw something ahead. A dark opening. A tunnel. There, he shouted. The bunker tunnel. It leads straight inside. Leora saw it too. Go. Now. They sprinted toward the tunnel. The drone fired one last blast, but the river mist deflected most of it. They dove into the tunnel just as the blast scorched the ground behind them. Inside the tunnel, everything was dark and silent. Ethan leaned against the wall, breath shaking. We made it. Saren collapsed to her knees, tears mixing with river water. I thought it would kill us. Leora checked the tunnel walls, making sure nothing else lurked inside. Her face softened slightly. You both did well, she said quietly. Ethan looked at her, surprised. You said something like that. Leora looked away. Don't expect it again. But Saren smiled weakly. She means it. Leora sighed but didn't deny it. For a moment, the three of them just breathed, listening to their own hearts pounding in the darkness. Then Ethan wiped water from his face and asked, How deep is this tunnel? It connects to the old human bunker, Leora said. Your military built it long ago. Abandoned now. Saren whispered. Humans are strange. They build things, then leave them behind. Ethan managed a small smile. We're complicated. Leora stared at him. Her voice softened without her noticing. So are you. Ethan froze. Something in her tone changed. But the moment didn't last. A metallic echo traveled through the tunnel. Far away, but getting closer. Saren's eyes widened. No, they're coming inside. Ethan felt his stomach drop. They can enter the tunnels? Leora nodded. They will tear the walls apart if they must. They won't stop. Saren grabbed Ethan's arm. We can't run anymore, right? No, Leora said quietly. Not anymore. Ethan whispered. Then what do we do? Leora looked into the darkness ahead, where the bunker waited. Her voice was calm, almost cold. We prepare for a fight. Saren trembled. But we are weak and outnumbered. Leora took her hand. We are weak, yes. but fear makes even the weak fight harder. She looked at Ethan next. You said you would help, even if this wasn't your fight. Ethan nodded, breathing heavily. I meant it. Leora stared deeper into the darkness of the bunker tunnel and whispered, Then tonight we fight together. Behind them, the red lights appeared again, shining in the tunnel. The hunters were coming. The tunnel grew colder as they moved deeper. Their footsteps echoed softly, like whispers chasing each other in the dark. Water dripped from the ceiling. Dust floated in the faint light from the cracks above. Ethan walked in the middle, holding Saren's hand to steady her. Leora stayed behind them, every few steps turning around, listening for the metallic threat following them. Saren whispered, Leora, how far until the bunker? A little longer, Leora replied. Just stay close. The tunnel curved sharply, and suddenly the air opened into a huge underground chamber. Ethan froze. This place is massive. Old metal beams stretched across the ceiling. Rusted machinery stood silent like forgotten giants. Broken screens, old crates, shattered tools. Everything looked frozen in time. Saren stepped forward slowly, staring in awe. This is human technology. It feels heavy, sad. Ethan nodded. This bunker was built for war, but nobody used it. They abandoned it years ago. Leora walked ahead, scanning the area. We will use what your people left behind. Ethan frowned. Use how? Leora didn't answer. She stopped suddenly, raising her hand. Silence. Complete silence. Then, a faint metallic clang echoed through the tunnel behind them. Saren's heart raced. It's them, they're inside. Ethan whispered, How much time do we have? Leora looked at the dark tunnel entrance. A minute, maybe less. Ethan picked up an old metal pipe from the floor. We need weapons. Leora shook her head. For drones? That pipe won't help. Ethan tightened his grip anyway. I'm not standing here with empty hands. Saren touched the rusted console on the wall. Leora, these human machines, can we use them? Possibly, Leora said, already opening a broken panel. Inside were tangled wires and a dim battery core. Ethan watched her hands move quickly. What are you doing? Creating light, she said. And maybe a distraction. Suddenly the overhead lights flickered. Once, twice. Then the entire chamber glowed with pale yellow light. Saren gasped softly. It works, you did it. Leora stepped back. The lights won't last long. But now we see our enemies coming. As if summoned by her words. A distant metal shriek echoed again. Closer now. Ethan took a deep breath. They sound angry. Leora looked at him sharply. Drones don't feel anger. She paused. But their creators do. Saren hugged herself tightly. So they really want us gone? Leora touched her shoulder. We survived worse. We'll survive this. The tunnel lights flickered again. Shadows jumped across the walls like living creatures. Another screech. Closer. Ethan whispered. Leora, I hear them. Saren stepped back. Where do we hide? Leora scanned the chamber quickly. There was a broken lift shaft on the left. A collapsed control room above. A stack of old crates scattered across the far wall. None were safe. We don't hide, Leora whispered. We position ourselves. Ethan shook his head. Position? To fight? Yes. With what? Leora pointed at the machinery. These machines still have electric cores. If we overload them at the right moment, it could disable the drones. Ethan's eyes widened. You mean make a trap? Yes. A very loud one. Saren looked worried. Leora, it's risky. Leora nodded. Everything is risky now. A red glow appeared in the tunnel entrance. One drone, then two, then three, all slowly drifting in. Ethan felt his chest tighten. They're here. Saren stepped back, her breath shaking. Leora, they found us. Leora straightened her back, her voice calm. Remember, don't panic. The drones entered the chamber, scanning the room with glowing red eyes. One of them spoke in a cold, mechanical voice. Target found. Saren flinched. It's talking, Leora whispered. They only speak when mission priority is extreme. The drones focused their red beams on the three of them. Ethan stepped in front of the girls without thinking. Stay behind me. Leora stared at him, surprised again by this human bravery. But before she could speak, Saren gasped, "Leora, the commander, where is it?" A deep metallic roar echoed from above. Ethan looked up slowly. The commander drone was crawling across the ceiling, red lines glowing like hot metal veins. Saren screamed and grabbed Ethan. Above us, the commander dropped from the ceiling like a falling star. Leora jumped forward, pushing Ethan and Saren aside. The drone crashed into the floor with a shockwave, dust flying everywhere. Ethan coughed. "That thing is insane." Leora stood between the humans and the drones, eyes locked on the commander. The drones spread out, surrounding them. Saren whispered, trembling, "We're trapped." Ethan tightened his grip on the pipe. "What do we do?" Leora exhaled slowly. Then she whispered, "On my signal, run to the left." Ethan blinked. "Left? Why?" Leora didn't answer. She stepped forward toward the commander drone, unarmed, fearless. Saren panicked. "Leora, no." Leora looked back at her sister. A small, gentle smile formed on her face. "We survived this," she whispered. "Trust me." The commander drone raised its arm. Leora raised hers. The moment stretched like a thin piece of glass, about to shatter. And then, the entire chamber exploded with white light. As Leora slammed her hand onto the power core panel behind her, triggering the trap, and everything went silent. The white light exploded through the bunker chamber like lightning trapped inside a metal cage. Ethan fell backward, covering his eyes. Saren screamed, her ears ringing. The drones shook violently, their red lights flickering like dying flames. But Leora stood in the center of the blast, her hand pressed against the overloaded power core, her body glowing with electrical currents running up her arms. "Leora!" Saren cried, trying to run toward her. Ethan grabbed her just in time. "No, the energy, you'll get hurt." Saren struggled, tears forming in her eyes. "But she is." The light finally dimmed. The bunker fell silent, smoke rising from the broken machines. 3 drones lay on the ground, motionless, sparks dripping from their bodies. But the commander drone still stood, barely damaged. Its eye flickered weakly, but then glowed bright again. Ethan's stomach dropped. "That blast, it didn't stop it." Saren whispered, "Leora, please be okay." Leora collapsed to her knees, breathing hard. Her skin glowed faintly from the overload. Electric lines danced across her arms like tiny silver scars. Ethan ran to her. "Leora, can you hear me?" She coughed, then nodded weakly. "I'm fine, go help Saren." But Saren was already running to them. She dropped beside Leora, holding her tightly. "Don't do that again. Don't ever do that again." Leora exhaled softly. "I'm still here, aren't I?" Saren cried into her shoulder. Ethan looked relieved, but then his eyes widened. The commander drone took a step forward. Its metallic voice cracked. "Mission incomplete." Ethan whispered, "It's coming again." Leora pushed herself up, stumbling. "I'll stop it." "No," Ethan said, grabbing her arm. "You can barely stand." Saren stood too, wiping her tears, her face suddenly hard, determined. "Then I will." Leora grabbed her firmly. "Absolutely not. You are not strong enough for this." But Saren looked at the commander drone, her eyes glowing faintly. Something new, something dangerous. "Maybe I am." Leora froze. "Saren, what are you doing?" Ethan felt something change in the room. The air seemed to bend around Saren. He whispered, "What's happening to her?" Saren stepped forward slowly, fear replaced by something powerful. "When we left home, I had no powers. But Earth feels strange to me. It feels alive." The commander drone raised its blade. Saren didn't move. Leora shouted, "Saren, don't." The drone struck. Saren lifted her hand. A shock wave blasted from her palm, throwing the commander drone across the chamber like it was weightless. Ethan fell to the ground. Leora's eyes widened in disbelief. Saren stood in the center, glowing a soft blue, her hair lifting slightly as if touched by invisible wind. Ethan whispered, She has powers now." Leora stepped back, trembling. This is not possible. Saren was born without the gift. She wasn't supposed to ever have it. Saren turned around, breathing fast. I don't know how or why, but when Ethan saved me earlier, when you protected me, something unlocked inside me. Her voice shook. Something I didn't know I had. Ethan stared at her. Is this dangerous? Leora whispered. For the drones? Yes. For us? No. Saren is gentle. But before she could finish, the commander drone stood again. Its entire body glowed red, overheating with rage. New threat detected. It announced, voice deeper, colder. Eliminate. It charged straight towards Saren. Saren closed her eyes and raised both hands. A burst of blue energy blasted from her, a wave so strong it cracked the floor beneath them. The commander flew backward, smashing into the far wall, metal screaming and sparks flying in every direction. Ethan ducked, shielding himself from falling debris. Saren gasped, falling to her knees. I can't do that again. It took everything. Leora ran to her and held her face gently. Saren, you did more than enough. But now you must rest. The commander drone struggled to rise. Its red eye blinked rapidly, malfunctioning but refusing to die. Ethan shouted, why won't it stop? Leora lifted Saren up slowly. It will not stop until its mission ends. And its mission is us. Ethan grabbed the metal pipe again. Then let's finish this. Leora stared at him, surprised. You want to fight? I'm tired of running, he said, voice trembling but firm. If that thing wants to hurt you, it has to go through me first. Saren managed a weak smile. Humans are strange. Leora whispered. Yes, but I'm starting to like that. The commander drone rose fully now, shaking violently, blades extending. Its red eye locked on all three of them. Terminate targets. Ethan stepped forward. Saren stood behind him, leaning on Leora. Leora clenched her fists. And then, the drone lunged. Ethan swung the metal pipe with all his strength. Leora jumped, stopping the blade from hitting Ethan. Saren, with the last bit of power she had left, pushed the drone away with a faint spark of blue energy. The three of them fought together. Human, alien warrior, alien girl with new power. The drone slammed Leora into the wall. Ethan tried to hit it from behind. Saren screamed as she pushed again with a weak blast. But the commander drone was stronger. It pinned Ethan to the ground. Its blade pressed against his throat. Saren cried, "No!" Leora screamed, "Ethan!" The drone's red eye glowed bright. And then, a sudden explosion ripped through the bunker ceiling. Light, sound, shock. Someone or something had arrived. But not human, not drone. Something else entirely. And it changed everything. The bunker ceiling cracked wide open as the explosion shook dust and metal everywhere. Ethan covered his head, coughing. Saren clung to Leora, terrified. Leora stared upward, eyes narrowing. Something descended through the broken roof. Glowing silver blue. Silent. Fast. The commander drone froze, blade still pressed against Ethan's throat. It scanned the falling object, but it didn't get to finish. A beam of bright blue energy slammed into the drone, knocking it away from Ethan and sending it crashing across the bunker floor. Ethan gasped and rolled aside, clutching his neck. Saren screamed, "What was that?" Leora stepped in front of both of them, her voice low. "Someone found us." The dust cleared slowly like a curtain rising. And then they saw it. A tall figure, wearing armor that shimmered like liquid metal, stepped out of the falling light. Not human, not drone, something from their world. Saren's breath caught. "Leora, is that?" Leora's eyes widened in shock. Her voice cracked. "Commander Vale." Ethan looked between them. "Who is Vale?" Saren whispered, trembling. "He is one of the strongest warriors from our home. Higher rank than all hunters, higher than anyone we faced." Ethan frowned. "So he's here to help?" Leora didn't answer, because she wasn't sure. Vale landed gently on the bunker floor. His glowing armor pulsed like a heartbeat. His face remained hidden behind a metallic mask with glowing blue eyes. He spoke with a deep, smooth voice. "Leora, Saren, You have survived longer than expected. Saren stepped back. Expected? What do you mean? Vale lifted his hand. The commander drone tried to rise again, but Vale's armor lit up and a wave of blue energy forced the drone back to the ground. He crushed it under his boot. Sparks burst everywhere. The drone's red light faded, dimmed, and finally died. Ethan let out a shaking breath. It's over. Leora grabbed his arm firmly. No, it is not. Vale turned his glowing eyes toward Ethan. A long pause. Cold. Silent. Unblinking. Saren stepped in front of Ethan protectively. Don't hurt him. Vale tilted his head. This human interfered with a punishment order. That is unacceptable. Ethan felt his chest tighten. Punishment order? What does that mean? Leora clenched her fists. It means he is here to take us. To finish the exile. To silence us forever. Saren held Leora's arm. We can't let him. Vale walked closer. His voice echoed through the bunker. You two discovered a truth forbidden by our leaders. You were exiled to Earth so the truth would die with you. But you survived. And worse. He looked at Ethan again. You involved a human. Leora stepped in front of Ethan. Ethan helped us. He protected us. If you want him dead, you deal with me first. Vale paused, then let out a soft, almost amused breath. Emotions, Leora? Attachment? This planet is changing you. Ethan whispered. Leora, what truth did you discover? Leora didn't look at him. She kept staring at Vale. Our leaders lied, she said quietly. They said humans were weak, violent, worthless. But we learned the truth. Saren nodded. Humans feel. Humans care. Humans fight for others even when they should run. Ethan swallowed, shocked by their words. Vale's mask dimmed slightly. Your feelings do not matter. Your orders remain the same. You were meant to disappear. Saren's eyes filled with fear. Leora stepped forward, ready to fight even though she was weak and shaking. Ethan grabbed her wrist. No, don't fight him alone. We face this together. Leora looked at him. Her voice softened. You shouldn't be part of this. He smiled weakly. Too late. Vale raised his hand. A sphere of blue energy formed, humming loudly. Saren screamed. He's going to kill us. Leora pushed Ethan behind her. Stay back. The bunker shook from Vale's rising power. But then, something strange happened. Saren stepped forward. Her eyes glowed bright blue, brighter than ever before. Her hair lifted again. A soft wind circled around her. Vale's attack flickered. He stared at her, surprised. Saren, how did you gain the ability? Saren's voice was soft, but powerful. Earth gave it to me. Or maybe being saved gave it to me. Vale hesitated. For the first time, he looked unsure. Ethan whispered, Saren, what are you doing? Saren took Leora's hand, then reached for Ethan's. Her energy flowed between them in a glowing connection. Leora gasped, Saren, you're linking us. Saren whispered, trust me. Vale stepped back, sensing the growing power. This is forbidden. Saren lifted her glowing hand. A wave of blue energy burst outward from all three of them. The bunker walls rattled. The air cracked. The floor shook. Vale raised his arms to shield himself, but the energy hit him full force. He was thrown across the room, crashing into the rubble. His armor flickered. Sparks flew from his mask. Saren collapsed to her knees. I can't hold it. Ethan caught her. You did amazing. It's enough. Leora ran to her sister, hugging her tightly. You saved us again. Vale slowly rose, armor damaged, mask cracked. But instead of anger, he looked at them with something else. Understanding. He removed his mask, revealing a calm, complex face. Perhaps, he said quietly, I misjudged the human race. Saren trembled. Does that mean you will let us live? Vale looked at Ethan, then at the sisters, and he nodded once. You are no longer enemies to me. Ethan exhaled in relief. So, it's over? Vale shook his head gently. No, your world has noticed their absence. More will come. Saren grabbed Leora's hand tightly. Ethan stepped closer to them. What do we do now? He asked softly. Vale looked toward the broken ceiling. You prepare, he said, because your story is only beginning. A cold wind blew into the bunker. Leora looked at Ethan. Saren held Leora's arm. Their home refused them. Earth hunted them. Space watched them. But together, they were no longer afraid.